Hello, hello. This is Peter Palmiotti of Human Art Studio, and here we are once again working on retro. This is your comic book check-in, I guess. Uh, so it's freaking gorgeous outside. Um, I had my cats locked away um, in their cage and took them out uh, just like an hour ago. One of them's outside, Clea, and Ripley's inside. And she's kind of fully awake. Hopefully, she won't bother me. But she's running around like a lunatic. Um, I know what I wanted to do. Do. So yeah, this is page 7. This is where I be. Um, Inking most of today on some other stuff, and it's been a long day. It's been a good day, but a long day, and kind of feeling a little tired. I gotta go do some food shopping later. I just want to throw down an outline there. Do, 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 do. Where you be? I be here. Where you be? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it appears we don't have the crowd we had yesterday, but that's okay. I expect a crowd tomorrow, because tomorrow I'll have the fellas from Global Frequency to chat with, and be talking about them and their book, Mavericks, which you can sign up now on Indiegogo. It's MAVRICKS, I believe. I have the link in tomorrow's hangout stream. Hangout stream. It's what we used to call streams back in the day. Hangouts. So yeah, I was thinking about habits and stuff. Earlier, but here, let me see what the guy in the chat is saying. You said something like, "This is where I be." Nah, just the annoying guy who won't shut up. That's me. Just hang out, man. Cool. Yeah, I was thinking about habits. I'm trying to formulate better habits, especially after last year, which was a dumpster fire for so many people. And I want to make sure I don't fall down the same rabbit holes this year. And I got a lot going on, and it's going to be challenging to be on top of it all. But yeah, I'm making this 4 p.m. my official time to stream. And give or take, it will be 30 minutes each day. When I have guests on, it'll probably run longer. I know I have lots of questions for the guys tomorrow. And, for those that show up in the chat, you can always chime in with your own questions and proposals and all that jazz. But yeah, so you want to build better habits and make sure you don't repeat your bad habits. And just mindful of it is enough at the moment. Let's see. Oh. Sings badly. I'm breaking a habit tonight. Can't promise I'll be here every day, especially once you give me something to work on. Hint, hint. Yeah, I got deadlines, man. I gotta get on top of. I'm actually kind of, even though I'm like setting up this whole new rhythm, part of me thinks, knows that I gotta get a bunch done and out, and not enough time in the day or the week. But we'll see. No, so nefarious. I set up a tomorrow stream and have you guys on. Looking forward to that. Well, the opposite of down, usually nefarious, but good to see you. Is there ever? But actually, like I say, I'll have time until July, and even then sometime, just not as much. Cool. What is this? Pictures. Yeah, tiny pictures in the background. Sorry, all the pencils to this issue I have on file. So usually, if I can't see things totally, I open up the files and just make them large on my screen while I work. But this page is pretty straightforward. Anything I don't get exactly, I just make up. No. Nothing's that important. I mean, it's essentially office background. Hey, Ripley. Don't you jump up here. No, no, no. Go away. Go away. Go away. Thanks for the clarification. No problem. So what are you guys doing today besides hanging out here? You've been busy? What have you been up to? It's another 60 degree day here. And look who decided to join me on the desk. No, no, no. Go over there. Go in your chair. Go in your chair. No, no, no. Meow. That was me, not her. I honestly don't know how other artists do it with cats around. All right, good. You can lay down over there. That. But I'm getting better dealing with them. Slowly but surely. Artists making it up as we go. Shock horror. Just above freezing here. Cat still thinks it's where it's at. You gotta be cool as a cat to know where it's at. Oh, so the name of this episode is Funny Pages, and I always think of what's his name? Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson is a singer. I want to say from the 80s, maybe the 90s. Really, really love his work. He had a punchy song called Funny Pages. Funny Pages. Funny Pages. I was briefly on Twitter when I shared this out. I noticed a fellow used to be only an anchor. Now he's creating his own books. Was talking about page rates that anchors made 100, 150. And, maybe that's true at Marvel and DC. But not so much everywhere else. Which is why, I totally believe in doing your own creations, because I know you'll make more money in the long run than you would at a big company. I mean, working for Marvel and DC is good. Their books aren't as good as they used to be for a lot of reasons. Not totally their fault. Why is that a dot matrix back there? But if they offer me a steady gig nowadays, which is probably never going to happen, I would take it because it's a dependable paycheck and, dependable work until the job dries up or they get other creators or whatever. It's not really where I'm focused on doing my own books and working with other people. I'd much rather be working with, and it means a small paycheck, but I love let me switch working with other creators much more than soulless companies. I'm sure small press is less dollars. Absolutely. Occasionally something happens where I get paid more, but I was paid for, I think a year and a half ago at this point, maybe a year ago, a 15-page job. I was paid more than my usual inking rate. But, the writer creator disappeared. I don't know if it will ever be published, but I was paid. So there's that. As much as I would love to write DC characters, I would be terrible at taking current editorial direction from them. Yeah, I think that the greatest weakness is like Mullen DC is editorial. I would, if they put me in charge, man. And here's Jake. Welcome, welcome. If you haven't already, give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't. And support the channel by becoming a Patreon. And that's all the business I'm saying. I was going to say, in regards to the title of this episode, Funny Pages, I was watching a YouTube video with a Gil Kane interview. Unfortunately, it was right a month before he passed away. So it was kind of sad as well. But he started off with a whole thing going on about, how back in the day, Sunday comics were a big thing. And somebody got the notion that, hey, we should reprint a lot of these Sunday comics and, maybe do a collection, like do 4 or 8 or 16. And, the short evolution from Sunday comic to, thank you. Keep moving. From Sunday comic to what became comics, it makes total sense. And I don't know if I knew that. I don't know if I realized that, but my introduction into comics was through newspapers and daily strips and Sunday strips. And I have a real big love for a lot of that. A lot of favorites. My father brought home multiple newspapers back in the day, and I used to read a lot of them and look at all of them, as a sponge looking at artwork. Is this making sense? There's lines, too many lines. Okay. But yeah, that was my introduction to comics, was Sunday funny papers. I keep saying funny pages. Everything from Peanuts to Popeye to, I don't know, Kathy, Dick Tracy, Spider-Man, of course, uh, Gasoline Alley, Doonesbury. I mean, everything and anything that was coming out at the time when I was reading them. Love the artwork. And I've said this before, but like, I would take a peanut strip and throw down some pencil on top of it and try to make it 3D looking. Give it some shadows and stuff. Yeah, that was my first artistic attempts at improving an artist's work, which is kind of funny. All right, leave that be. Cat. Let's see. If Peter was in charge of the big two, we get the Jim Shooter era. Damn straight, Jim Shooter was amazing. I love him. I mean, I worked for Valiant and Defiant at the same time. One during the day and one evenings. Defiant less time. It was a short run, but I was helping out. And me and Palmiotti at DC, we give them all to you, Jake. Oh, F no. I'd put that dog down the instant I entered the office. Yeah, I would, I grew up more on Marvel. Although, given the opportunity, I can fix either. And yes, there was a cat on screen. Let's see what I got. One can argue that Marvel needs to be put down. Now we get a whole long conversation. Argument Marvel ought to be either restructured or scaled down, push the kill switch and reboot, or worse, turn to an IP farm. I mean, that's what it is. I'm not following Marvel or DC, but I sort of cycles of how a company worked back when I was working for both of them, and a lot hasn't changed. Anything that rises to the surface and becomes like a major hit with fans and is purely the people behind it. And they're both such a machine that it's a difficult thing to make happen. But anyway, I think I got a good sense of what would work for them and such, but I mean, all the ideas I have for them, frankly, I would use when I have multiple books and I'm running my own company. Okay. So yeah, okay. So none. Um, there are some Marvel characters I like, but sort of funny papers, funny pages. Garfield, Peanuts, my thing back in the day. But it was the 1989 Batman movie that got me into comics seriously. Before that, I had only glanced through. Okay, interesting. My first comics were Archie and Richie Rich. Nefarious says, besides, I like Marvel characters and they deserve the reset more. Palmiotti agreed about DC and Marvel being machines, but lately the wheels have been coming off. There it is. I agree to the thinking critical's grievance from one video last week with the terrible writing that goes on. If you can have it. I'm more concerned with saving DC characters. Be perfectly happy to hire someone competent for marketing tie-ins. Yeah, I mean, they both companies have amazing characters, and it will never not be so. It's just in how they are handled. Like, honestly, I know most people, their favorite DC character is Batman, but frankly, I'm a bigger fan of Superman. Unfortunately, you can have if you put all the great Superman comics in a stack, it would be small. As opposed to Batman, who has like piles and piles of great stories. It's just the people handling him. It's very, very difficult character to get right, and know what to do with. And that's not on the writers alone. He has evolved and changed. He has been married and not married. He's gone through many different stages and reboots and whatever. But I think he's a phenomenal character. And what was it? Oh, I was just I watched another video interview with J. Michael Straczynski. That's not pronounced totally right, but who's a phenomenal writer, creator. He's done TV, he's done movies, he's done comics. I know his work specifically from his Spider-Man run, which was amazing. And so he wrote a book about himself called Becoming Superman, and he's a big Superman fan. Where is it? Rich, who's the penciler on this, he put too many parallel lines here. Trying to figure out which ones to follow. They're very thin. All right, that's, oh my god, all over the place. Okay. But J. Michael, he created Babylon 5. I forget exactly, but he definitely wrote most of the episodes, if not all. He's had an amazing career. And if you like reading about writers, I would definitely highly, highly recommend reading his book. That's off. Oh, okay, I see. It's a phenomenal read. Palmiotti? Exactly. I know. Editors aren't handling the characters with enough care to create dynamics and keep in check. Yeah, it's a difficult thing to write a character not only over like 12 issues in a year, but for decades to write interesting stories with one character who relatively stays the same over long periods of time. But it's like we've seen comics done really well for years and years and years, and we've seen like TV for years and years the same characters. It can be done. It can be done. I'm more a fan of the third and original Robins, along with some of the Titans in comics, not the cartoons. Superman I used to be indifferent on, but these days I take Supes gladly. Yeah, I was. I read some Robin stories. I read, Robin in Batman's. But I loved the Titans, especially Marv Wolfman, George Perez. Give me that for 10, 20-year run, which will never happen. Yeah, that's exactly how you spell it. Straczynski. Checks Google. Yep. He was a B5 creator. Yeah. Google it. I take a character who stays the same as opposed to, oh no, things will never be the same again story. I'm so sick of that. Yep. You and me both. It's like, how many times do you wake up yourself and say, this one thing happened and I'll never be the same again? It can't happen in every book, every issue. Enough. It could be minor things and average day things are more interesting than over the top storylines sometimes, or a lot of times. On the opposite spectrum, you got Eric Larson and Savage Dragon went 180 with the IP. Yep. I think Eric plans to do who am I? Jeff Smith did with Bone. I think Eric wants to do 300 issues of Savage Dragon. We'll see if he can get it done. And that was years of established content. Exactly. You'll remember which character I commissioned you to draw for me. Oh, Terra. Yep, from the Titans. Terra from the Titans. If you want to do things whenever you're saying, that's what Elseworlds AU is for, alternate universe. And they can be cool, but not in continuity. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like I was mentioning Marvel back in the day, like they did their own variations on what is essentially the same as Elseworlds. They had the Ultimates for a time. They had what was it? Just 2099 sort of universe for a time. They had New Universe. So they even with their alternate reality, using the same characters but them being different, they recreated that freaking every 2 or 4 years. Marvel's What If, which they're doing for Disney Plus, is going to have a What If series. And when I first heard about it, I wasn't interested in it, but once I saw the animation and possibly some of the things they have planned to do, I am kind of interested, because it's like you can watch it, enjoy the episodes, and not have to worry about, okay, this is tied in continuity wide to the bigger story. I mean, I'm really loving WandaVision, but I worry at some point um, it's going to be too much to follow with all the Disney Plus stories and on top of the movies and continuity of all that happening. I'm sure it'll be well done, but we'll see how it goes. So far, it's just one. It's like the same thing. I realized when Disney announced, yeah, we're going to do like 10 uh, Star Wars related shows, and it's like, oh my god, Mandalorian is great, but how much Star Wars content will I be willing to watch? And DC's sort of leaning in the same direction, and it's like, maybe at this point they should give up doing comics and just stick with the movies and the TV shows or the streaming shows, whatever you want to call them. Leave the comics to the professionals, the indie guys. Is what I say. I'm going in and start working on my comic. Oh, cool. I'm going to join. I'm sure that makes sense to somebody. Yeah. Jake, I want to see your comic. And Star Wars also having lots of editorial problems too. Yeah, it's like I really enjoyed the movies. Obviously, the last three had serious script problems, but that's because they were writing it on the fly and gearing it to fans, but not really. And it was a total mess. I wish Jon Favreau was in charge of the movies. It would have been much better. It's kind of a huge letdown because it could have been so great. And yes, they can keep doing TV and let's handle the comics. Sounds good. Got to pencil 3 pages today. 3 pages? That's a lot. Are you doing it 11 by 17? How are you? Are you digital? I think you must be digital. Boom, boom, boom. I see. Oh, 11 by 17 traditional. Awesome. Good luck, Jake. And that's from me too, definitely. And we got Ed Dukeshire here. Do it. Welcome. What are you up to nowadays? How are you doing, Mr. Ed? That came out wrong. I'm sure you don't want to be called Mr. Ed. Do it. You're welcome. Do it. Yeah. Busy learning every book in existence. Awesome, awesome. So, well, this is a longer episode than I thought. Um, I want to keep these shorter than what I've been doing, and I was doing like an hour and 20 minutes on average. Um, this is mostly so I can check in with everybody, see how everybody else is doing, give a little progress report on what I'm doing and where I'm at, which is me saying, hey, I'm inking retro page 7, so that means I got 28 pages of story totally. So only 21 more pages after this one. But the level of detail and work involved varies, and uh, I have worked on a lot of them, but mostly brush and quill work so far. And it feels like you're lettering every book in existence, but I know you're pretty busy letterer. At least you're getting work that nobody can fault you for. Absolutely. Peter's progress report. Yes, I am still alive and inking. Exactly. I mean, that's all it takes. Did I wake up today? Check. Did I make coffee? Check. Did I work on my pages? Check. When I start making real progress and making leaps and bounds in on things, then I'll be jumping up and down in excitement. I don't want to, essentially how I started the episode, I don't want to lead myself down the same path that last year brought a lot of us, which was, it was freaking out at first when pandemic was kind of brought into our knowledge. The world's changed. We don't know how to deal with it. Things are closing down left and right. Businesses are closing. I had to get a printer because I couldn't go to my copy shop anymore. I mean, my life has changed since then, mostly in a better way. Once I got over being utterly distracted by it. But because of last year, it puts me in a bind because I'm just like, I got too much on my plate. And I'm behind on everything. Retro being just one of the things. And trust me, I would love to work on this project alone, but I'm responsible for too many people and many other projects. Alexander Bab. I don't even know how to say your last name. I'll just call you Alex. Welcome. Don't think I ever seen you here before. Does anyone hate Doomsday Clock in the chat. I don't know what that is. Doomsday Clock is awesome. Is awful. Awesome. Haven't read it because the concept disgusts me. Oh, so it's is that a DC storyline? Do you hate Doomsday Clock? My basic opinion of DC material from 2007 onward. Arg. Keep down low with the swears, guys. Okay. Yeah, DC. Oh, okay. Doomsday Clock. Is that part of Watchmen, maybe? Yeah, okay. It's Watchmen, DC superheroes. At me. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know it was called that, but I was aware they were doing something. Yeah, I don't care. I have Watchmen, but it's the big art edition, which is like bigger pages than the printed comic, and it's in black and white. And it's funny because I met the colorist years ago. And he was a nice guy, John Higgins, I think his name was. Anyway, it's gorgeous. I freaking love. Now I'm blanking on the artist. Yeah, everybody knows the artwork, and it's gorgeous. It's a phenomenal artistic achievement. Same guy did. Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue too. Dave Gibbons. He did some work with Frank Miller back in the day. Black woman with blonde hair. Something over at Dark Horse. That was great too. Yeah, Dave is phenomenal, and to see his work in black and white is even more phenomenal. But I have no clue as to what they're doing with it now and this so-called doomsday stuff. But yeah, I'm all about indie creators and you know, because this is exactly what I want to do, which I held back for too many years, and I'm like, I finally gotta do it and just get it done and get it out there. So that's where I'm working on retro. I'm also working on some other stuff. Because, the best way to show people you can do something is by actually doing something. After all these years being a fan of comics and working in comics, I just want to make fun comics. And if nobody's going to make the comics I want to read, then I'm going to make the comics I want to read. Martha Washington, right? That was it. Fucking loved Martha. EJB, welcome. So Alex is asking everybody, do you hate Doomsday Clock? The Life and Times with Martha Washington. Was that the full title? Probably. Sorry if we're worrying about the big two over much. Yeah, it's bound to happen. We talk about comics. Fun. Yes, exactly. Oops. Let's see. I haven't read it. You shouldn't read it. That's right. Well, tune in tomorrow, which will be at 4. I'm having a couple of guys on, and they're part of a company called Global Frequency. And it'll be Aaron and Garrett, unless anything changes, and maybe their other participant, Kimmy. Well, we shall see. And we'll be talking about their book, Mavericks, which you can pre-sign up for right now on Indiegogo. If anybody wanted to drop the link into the chat, Jake. But yeah, this has been a fun episode. I thought I would, have nothing to say about, nothing to talk about, which was kind of the case, I guess, a little bit. Once my brain gets into these places where I get so many other things on my mind that I don't think I could pull coherent thoughts out, but I guess it was a good episode. Hope you liked it. And yeah, I'm gonna go outside since the weather's so freaking nice. It's literally gonna drop like 20, 25 degrees, by this time tomorrow it'll be 25 degrees cooler or something like that. So it's almost like spring out there today. So gotta enjoy it while it's around. It'll be a couple of months before we really get that weather here. Kentucky, it's warmer climate than New York, where I'm originally from. So we don't get severe winters, but the winters are like February, March. So it's gonna get colder still. All right, let's see. Okay, so Alexander says you shouldn't read Doomsday Clock. Good for you. So what comics are you guys enjoying these days? I mentioned previously, what is it? Killaroo is a book. Well, I read Killaroo and The Four Horsemen, the sort of two independent creations in one book, and I read that, and that was fun. And I'm reading Ice Pick. Is it Ice Pick? I think it's Ice Pick. And I'm reading more than that, but I'll give, I'll probably drop pictures on my Facebook or something about stuff I've recently read. Stuff I've had. There's a Javier Hernandez book I want to get to. There's my brother's Pop Kill I want to get to. Just, I have a freaking stack. What's the frequency, Peter? Well, REM told me. Insane in the Membrane. What are you bringing all these song references up? Mavericks Origins Volume 1. Sign up at go sign up today, folks. Those will be my guests tomorrow. So you get our call tomorrow then. Yep. EJB, James, Stokey's Grunt and others. I don't know that. I will have to look that up. But cool. Yeah, we've gone 55 minutes, much longer. But, I got some more lines connected and worked out. I was getting all confused about what lines to follow there. It's very light. There's a bunch of other lines there that you can't see. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Like the video, like I said. If you don't want to miss an upcoming stream, hit that bell, notification bell. Supposedly it does you some good. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. And I'll be here again tomorrow, 4 o'clock, with the guys from Global Frequency. So tune in. Have a great night. And work on your comics and